ever find yourself daydreaming about, like
Yeah.
achieving something really incredible, but then reality kind of sets in.
And you're back to square one. It's like, how do we actually bridge that gap between, wishing and actually doing?
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, this idea of turning those dreams into reality.
With a little help from Florencia Andres and her, what's it called, mindset code, right?
Yeah, the mindset code. So we're diving into her motivational talk, which is jam-packed with...
Actionable steps. I mean, she doesn't mess around.
No, she doesn't. And to prove her point, she even uses the stories of Lionel Messi, Monty Roberts. I mean...
Talk about proof that anything is possible, if they could do it.
Right. It's like, come on.
Mm.
So I have to admit, when I first started listening to Andres' talk...
I'm curious. What was your first impression?
Well, she starts by asking these questions. She's like, where are you here? What time is it now? Who are you this moment?
Okay, deep.
Right? And I'm like, is this some kind of Zen riddle? But then it hit me, she's talking about the power of now. Like, being present.
Which is so much harder than it sounds, right?
Oh, 100%. It's so easy to get caught up in regrets about the past.
Or anxieties about the future.
Exactly. And we forget that the most important moment, like the only moment we can actually do anything to make those dreams happen,
Is right now.
yes. It's
Yeah.
like that old saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery.
But today is a gift.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the present.
Huh. You knew exactly where I was going with that.
Had to. Okay, so what really resonated with me about Andres' talk
Okay. Yeah.
is her insistence that dreams are powerful. I mean, she's adamant that they can change your life. Have you found that to be true?
Absolutely. And I think it's because when we allow ourselves to dream big, it opens up all these possibilities.
That we might not have even considered before.
It's like that feeling of, what if?
Exactly.
What if I actually went for it? What if I actually tried?
And even if we don't fully achieve those big, crazy dreams, just the act of pursuing them.
Oh, that's where the real magic happens.
100%. Think about it.
Hmm.
When you're passionate about something, you're more likely to step outside your comfort zone.
You're more likely to learn new skills, connect with new people.
Right. That journey in itself is incredibly valuable.
It's like, what is it? Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
I love that. And to that point, she uses the incredible story of Lionel Messi
Okay, yeah.
to illustrate how we can overcome obstacles. I mean, talk about an aspiring, he was a kid at the time who dreamed of playing professional football.
Yeah, one of the best.
But he was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency. Can you imagine being told your body literally wouldn't allow you to grow?
To the size needed to excel in your sport, basically.
Exactly. I mean, talk about a moment where it would be so easy to just give up on the dream.
Right, what's the point?
But Messi, he didn't take that route.
No, he found another way.
He adapted, honed his agility, his ball control.
Became like this master of weaving through opponents.
Exactly. He focused on what he could control.
Instead of dwelling on what he couldn't.
Which is incredible, especially at such a young age.
Right. It takes a lot of self-awareness.
And it highlights Andres' point that obstacles
Don't have to define us.
it's our attitude towards them that matters.
100%. So Messi's story is amazing, super inspiring, but it also feels a bit,
A bit what?
like exceptional. Like not all of us are going to be Lionel Messi.
Okay, fair enough.
So how do we apply this to our own, maybe less glamorous dreams?
That's where the mindset code comes in.
Okay, bring on the code.
And step one, believe it or not, is deceptively simple.
Let's hear it.
Decide what you want.
Decide what you want. Sounds simple enough.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
But it's amazing how many of us get tripped up.
Tripped up how?
Well, we get stuck focusing on what we don't want.
Instead of getting clear on what we do want,
Exactly.
it's so much easier to say, I'm tired of this dead-end job.
Than it is to actually figure out what would make me feel excited to get out of bed in the morning.
Ooh, good question. Have you ever noticed yourself doing that?
Oh, all the time. It's way too easy to get caught up in the negative.
It's like we're hardwired to avoid pain, so we focus on what we're trying to escape instead of, what we're moving towards.
100%. And Andres actually uses this great analogy in her talk.
Hit me with it.
She's like, it's like walking into a restaurant
Okay, I like where this is going.
and telling the waiter all the foods you don't like,
I've been there.
but never actually ordering anything off the menu.
You're just going to end up hungry.
Exactly. So how do we get clear about what we actually want to order from life's menu, so to speak?
Well, Andres is a big proponent of writing things down.
Just getting it out of your head and onto paper.
Exactly. And she backs this up with a really interesting story about Monty Roberts, the horse whisperer. Have you heard of him?
Yeah. The Man Who Listens to Horses. I read his book years ago. He had kind of a tough upbringing, right?
Yeah, really tough childhood. But despite all that, he achieved his dream of owning this horse ranch in California and training horses using these, like, gentler methods.
Instead of the traditional, sometimes harsh approaches.
Right. And this is where the story gets good. So when he was a kid,
Okay.
he had to write a school essay about his dream.
Oh, no. I feel like this isn't going to end well.
It doesn't. The teacher actually gave him an F on the paper.
What? Wait, that's awful.
I know, right? Told him to be realistic and get a real job. Can you imagine?
Crushing, especially for a kid who's passionate about something.
Right. But Monty, he was like, nope. He held on to that dream. And he actually told the teacher, you keep your F, I'll keep my dream.
What a boss move.
Right. Talk about standing up for yourself. And guess what? Years later, he proved her wrong.
He has the ranch, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. He's world-renowned. He's even worked with Queen Elizabeth II training her horses.
That's amazing. So it's like Andre says, writing down your goals makes a real difference.
And there's actually research to back this up. Yeah, at the University of Virginia, they found that people who write down their goals are like 44% more likely to achieve them.
Wow, that's huge.
Right. But get this, if you actually review those written goals regularly, your chances skyrocket to 88%.
No way. So it's not just writing it once and forgetting about it?
No, you got to keep those goals front and center.
It's like that saying, out of sight, out of mind. If we don't see our goals, we're less likely to, work towards them.
Exactly. And it's not even just about reminding ourselves, it's about clarifying.
What do you mean?
Well, when you write something down, you're forced to get specific.
So it's not enough to be like, I want to be successful.
Right. What does successful even mean?
You have to define what that looks like for you.
Exactly. Replace those vague wishes with clear, concrete steps. So we've got decide what you want and write it down what's next.
Okay, lay it on me.
This is where we dive into the internal game, all about believing in yourself.
Believing in yourself. Okay, easier said than done, right?
You think I've mastered this one?
Well, I haven't. So let's dive into what Andres has to say about it.
All right, sure.
So she starts by asking this question that I think is so powerful, like, stop me in my tracks a little bit.
Let's hear it.
She asks, would you talk to your best friend the way you sometimes talk to yourself?
Oh, wow.
Right. And instantly I was like, ouch, like guilty. Big time.
The dreaded inner critic rears its ugly head.
All the time. But it's so true, right?
Absolutely. We're so much harder on ourselves than we would ever be on anyone else.
Imagine saying some of the things we think to ourselves to our best friend.
They wouldn't be our friend for very long.
Exactly. So instead of all that negative self-talk, Andres is a big believer in what she calls power phrases.
Power phrases. Okay, I'm intrigued. What are we talking about here?
So these are basically empowering statements, affirmations, whatever you want to call them, words that resonate with you and kind of inspire you to action.
Like little pep talks we give ourselves.
Exactly. But the key is finding ones that really feel true to you.
So how do we do that? How do we find our own personal power phrases?
Well, she gives this great example in her talk about this medical student. He had this dream of working at this prestigious hospital.
Okay, ambitious.
Right. But deep down, he didn't believe he could actually do it.
That self-doubt can be paralyzing.
Totally. He was getting in his own way, basically.
So what was his power phrase? Spill the beans.
Andres told him to repeat this phrase over and over, especially before exams or interviews when those nerves would really kick in.
Okay, I'm ready. What's the magic phrase?
I deserve to perform at my best.
I deserve to perform at my best. I like it. Simple, but powerful.
Right. And the amazing thing is, it actually worked.
No way. What happened?
He aced his exams, got a top spot in his class, exceeded his own expectations.
That's incredible. I'm a believer.
It really shows you the power of our thoughts, right?
If we tell ourselves we're not good enough, we're setting ourselves up for failure before we even begin.
100%. But if we can shift that internal dialogue even just a little bit, it can make a world of difference.
I'm convinced. So we need to be our own cheerleaders.
Exactly. Even when it feels a little silly, like we're hyping ourselves up for no reason.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we've covered deciding what we want, believing in ourselves. What's next on the agenda?
Time to take action.
Oh, boy. Here's the scary part.
The doing is often the hardest part.
No kidding. It's so easy to get stuck in the planning phase.
Or the dreaming phase.
Right. But Andres is adamant that action, even imperfect action, is crucial.
Makes sense. You can't get anywhere without taking that first step.
Exactly. She actually told this funny story in her talk about how she was giving this big
Yeah.
presentation. And she's like, all right, I'm going to offer a prize to anyone who's brave enough to walk up on stage right now in front of everyone.
Oh, man. I'd be so nervous.
Right. And of course, everyone's hesitant. They're all looking around like, who's going to do it?
Did anyone take her up on it?
Someone did. And the point she was making is that sometimes the biggest rewards come from facing our fears head on.
Stepping outside that comfort zone.
Exactly. Because on the other side of that fear, that's usually where the good stuff is.
The opportunities, the breakthrough.
All of it. But how do we push past those feelings of doubt and hesitation when they inevitably come up?
I could use some advice on that one.
Well, I love what Andres suggests. She's a big fan of mantras or power phrases for those moments when you just need a little boost.
Okay, give me an example.
This is the one she uses. And I'm going to start using it too because it's so good. She's like, oh, what the heck? Go for it anyway.
Oh, what the heck? I love it.
Right. It's that sense of like playful rebellion against your own fear.
Like you're giving yourself permission to just go for it, even if it doesn't work out perfectly.
Exactly. And I think that's such an important reminder because we get so caught up in like, what if I fail? What if it's a disaster?
But the truth is, we miss 100% of the shots we don't take.
So true. Okay, so we've got to be willing to take action even when it's scary. What's the final piece of the puzzle here for turning dreams into reality?
Patience, my friend. Patience.
Oh, no. That's the one I struggle with the most.
Me too. It's not easy. In today's world, everything moves so fast.
We want instant gratification.
Right. But some things, the best things, take time.
And Andres uses this really cool analogy to illustrate this point.
Lay it on me.
Have you ever heard of the Japanese bamboo tree?
Vaguely. Remind me.
So a bamboo farmer, they plant a seed, right? They water it, they fertilize the soil, they give it sunlight, they do all the things.
Sounds like good gardening so far.
Right. But here's the thing. For the first 5 years, nothing happens.
5 years? Are you serious?
5 years, no sprout, no shoot, nothing. It just looks like, dirt.
So frustrating. I think I did something wrong.
Right. But here's where it gets crazy. After those 5 long years, this tiny little shoot finally emerges from the ground.
5 years in the making.
And then get this, within a few months, that little shoot explodes into this towering bamboo stalk, sometimes reaching like over 100 feet tall.
What? You're kidding. From 0 to 100 in a few months after 5 years of nothing.
It's wild. So while it seemed like nothing was happening, all this growth was going on underground.
The roots were developing, creating this strong foundation.
Exactly. And Andres uses this analogy to remind us that sometimes the most profound growth happens beneath the surface, where we can't even see it.
We just have to trust the process.
Have faith that those dreams are taking root, even if it doesn't look like anything's happening yet.
I love that. So, just to recap, Andres' mindset code boils down to decide, believe, act, and persevere.
And it's a reminder that achieving our dreams, whatever they may be, it's not about magic, it's about mindset.
And consistent effort. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Exactly. It's about enjoying the journey, even with all its ups and downs.
Because those challenges, those moments of doubt, that's where the real growth happens.
That's where we discover our resilience, our creativity, and, hey, maybe we even come up with a killer power phrase or two along the way.
Love it.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with this question. What dream are you currently nurturing, even if it hasn't quite bloomed yet?
Don't give up on it. Keep watering those seeds. Keep believing in yourself. Keep taking action.
And remember, like the Japanese bamboo, your time to flourish will come.
Keep dreaming. Keep growing.
That's a wrap on another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.